Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Spiritual Successor, a comedy video game design podcast where we take your horrible, nasty, cursed video game ideas from all over the internet and turn them into the next AAA title. I am one of your hosts, AJ Hart.
And I am one of your other hosts, Blake Rhea. Why the pause? Why the pause before the last name? It's just, why the emphasis?
I wanted them to wait for it. Here's the thing is, I know my last name has some real star power to it. You know, Kevin Hart. Amanda
guy who
Hart
cheated on his wife. I don't know anything about Amanda Hart.
Emily Hart, was that another comedian? There's a lot of comedians with the last name of Hart. Famous people named Hart.
Dude, that's why you're so funny, because you got the last name Hart too. It's in your blood. It's in your genes.
It's in my genes, kind of.
In your genes.
And so I wanted to go ahead and leave a little hot pause there just so that everybody knows. Oh, of course, how could I forget the most important person of which I share the last name of? Bret the Hitman Hart. The best there ever was, the best there is, and the best there ever will be.
No clue who any of that person is.
Anyway, my last name has some real star power and a real legacy to it. And sure, I'm not blood related to any of these people, but the legacy still stands. And
well, you're more famous than all of those people combined, admittedly. Like,
that's true.
You rank number 12 on iTunes in 2019. Like, I can't say that about Kevin Hart or Emily Hart or the one, the only, the other Hart that you mentioned. I don't even know his name.
The Hitman Hart, the first superstar of professional wrestling.
Oh, it's like, is this a sport? Is this a football thing? Is this Speaking of famous, actually, AJ, I have really fun news for you.
Okay.
Hit
me with your fun news. What's been going on in the life of Blake?
So I, as everybody on this podcast knows, I'm addicted to Warhammer, and I recently got addicted to making mechs. So I'm building like chaos mechs, right? And I was thinking of like, oh, what are some fun like ideas for the channel for Love, Death, and Dice and stuff? And I thought like, oh man, I'm really enjoying my Elden Ring thing. Why don't I start painting some Elden Ring models? So I ordered a picture, and I'll have this shared on my Twitter, or actually I could share it on the Spiritual Suck Twitter. I got a large jumbo-sized version of Iron Fist Alexander from Elden Ring, and I noticed he was the exact same height as the Warhammer mech models. So I took a picture of him next to all my mechs, and I posted it on Reddit, and it fucking blew up. It blew up, and people are like just fucking flocking to this image, trying to figure out, okay, how can we turn this into like a Nurgle themed jar, or like a Tzeentch themed jar, or like just a bucket of boiling blood. It was so much fun, and it was just such a simple thing that I was like, haha, this will get me some, a couple of karma on Reddit, and then here I am already coming up with like a video.
Look,
so if you want to see
with
that,
the big karma. Hey, when are you gonna sell your Reddit account?
Is that a thing that people do?
Hell yeah, that's a thing people do is sell their Reddit accounts because they have big karma. Yeah, but they love that clout. Reddit people are weird.
That's stupid as fuck. What are you talking about?
You say that's stupid, but if you made a couple G's off of this Reddit karma, ooh baby.
Yeah, but then I wouldn't have my accounts, and then
Blake, I'm so sorry. I'm getting a phone from maybe my doctor. I'll be right back.
Okay, I'll carry it. You know what? We're gonna do a little game design of one. How about this? I know this is not as fun. I know AJ's the funnier one, but this one comes to us on Twitter from Blue Bowser's Stan account at Koopa Kirby God of War, but as a text adventure. All right, so there's this one game out there that I've never played, but I genuinely love the concept of it. It is Typing of the Dead, and it's like House of the Dead, where you're on a rail and you're on a shooter, and you have to basically type out words to effectively make kills on zombies. What if we did some sort of game like that, but it is still an open worldy game? So there's still like WASD movement, but man, this is actually way harder to do when there isn't somebody to just fill in wild and crazy ideas. Fucking wow. Okay. Oh, here he is. He's back, everybody. All right, AJ, idea for you. It's God of War, but it's a text adventure and in the style of Typing of the Dead. What are your thoughts?
I think this is a very good. So it's a text adventure. So are we just going to see giant walls of text moving at us in the shape of a giant big
Yes.
scary monster?
I want to do a text adventure game, but like the thing that makes God of War is that it's a brawler, it's an arena fighter.
I think the thing that makes God of War is the secret knowledge in the back of your mind that there might be a sex scene where he bangs 4 different people all at once that just keep on running to the bed.
Wait, does that happen? Because I know he fucks somebody in...
It does happen. So in one of the games, I forget whether it's the PSP or if it was God of War 2, you meet up with Aphrodite. What's the god of beauty? Anyway,
Aphrodite.
Kratos like, what's up, baby? And then you bang her. And then while you're banging her, a bunch of different like people that work for her show up and they're like, yo, they fucking in there. And so they run in and they jump into the bedroom. And you just have to look at like the pillars or like the wall or the room. And you just have a little quick time event and you just keep on mashing buttons. Hey, Blake, I know you're laughing right now. It gets wilder because after you fuck her, after you bang her and all of her little like bride's chamber, like chamber maidens, is that the word? It feels mean to say. Anyway, you
it does feel
down
like
into the underground and you meet up with Hephaestus and he's like, what's up? You killed my daughter. And Kratos is like, yeah, I did only kill your daughter and definitely nothing else bad to you. And then you kill him too. So you meet up with Hephaestus, you bang his wife, you kill his daughter, and then you kill him. Kratos does everyone so dirty in the God of War games. It is unimaginable how dirty he does people.
I always forget, like, because I recently played...
what's the deal? How come he doesn't kill any of the girl gods? He just has sex with them.
Because, I mean, I don't know, man. You're asking... this is kind of what my point was going to be about, is like having come out of God of War, like the new one where it's like a
new God of War is such
journey.
A different beast.
It's such a God of War. Just such a fucking like adult game, and then I always forget that God of War was a game that was happening throughout like the transition of like. It was happening when people thought only guys played video games, where it was like, it's a game for guys about fucking ladies and killing dudes. And
in one of the God of War games,
so
you kill Hades with the coffin of Persephone. Like Persephone's in the coffin.
That's cool as fuck, actually.
And you start beating Hades to death with his own wife.
Yo, okay, that's metal as fuck. I will say that's pretty.
It is metal. It's also incredibly disrespectful.
I mean, he's a fucking dude. He's the God of War. He's edgy. He's an alt guy. He's a guy that drinks liquid death. You don't think he's fucking like angsty as shit?
No, hey, stop, everybody! I would like to pause the podcast. Blake, you all listening might be thinking, "Wow, Blake with the liquid death reference is a pretty deep cut and a pretty hard one to hit Kratos with." Blake in his heart and in his soul wants to be like Kratos, and so he gave Kratos a little bit of a relatable character trait there with the liquid death thing. Hey, Blake Ray, what are you sipping on right now, my guy?
I'm drinking some liquid death severed lime right now.
Just like Kratos God of War. Damn, you two are both so cool and handsome.
I do want to say this joke does have a precedent. Before AJ and I were recording, I said, hey, really quickly, let me go grab some liquid death really quick. And I set my headphones down and I come back, I crack open it and AJ, what did you say?
I was just so mad that you referenced grabbing water as grabbing a liquid death, because that would be like if I said, let me go grab an Aquafina. Like, no, motherfucker, it's a bottle of water. You did clarify that you were drinking one of the cool, edgy liquid death LaCroix, though.
Yes, and you said and you called it LaCroix for alt guys, and I can't get that out of my head, and I think it's amazing. All right. Coming back to the game. So this is a game.
Yeah, what are we looking at? Am I looking at normal text, or am I looking at text moving around like a Danganronpa court case?
I wonder. I want to try and take that brawl, like arena fighter feel, but it is all about text. So maybe you're in the center of the screen and you are like a bunch of words are flying at you. And is there I'm trying to figure out, it's like, how do you turn all these words flying at you into like a fight thing? Could it be that a bunch of words are flying at you?
I have a solution.
Okay, go ahead.
you would have to move the combat pacing into something like the Batman games. So you recently were playing through the Batman Arkham Knight games, and in those games, the enemies have a huge heads up of like, here they come to attack, but they throw
Yeah.
up like a huge yellow flash that the attack is coming in. And so what you could do is you could go ahead and say like, oh, they do a big flash and then a word comes up over their head. So you type up the word and then Batman would immediately jump over to that enemy and counter them, punch them.
Okay.
I don't see how this works with the God of War speed and tempo of a combat game, though.
Yeah, it's all those hit frames, dude. The hit frames are just extra long.
Kratos
So,
takes very
okay,
long to swing a
But
sword.
if we're talking about like a game that shouldn't be made, I feel like that's just typing of the dead, but in an arena thing. I would like this game to be just nothing but text, and I'm trying to try and take the franticness of an arena brawler, but apply it to only a text, like visual, and that leaves us to
This is going to be a dyslexic person's nightmare.
yes, extremely. But it's like I also think you could do this thing. God damn it, I can't believe I'm about to say this. I'm wondering if you could do, like, between these arena brawler things, it goes into, like, classic Kratos. Can we just do, like, an all-text, like, sex scene? Is that something we can ask the player to type out? And depending on their spelling and their words per minute dictates how well they did at the sex thing. So you're given a paragraph of, like, really
I'm sorry,
deep
you
Greek
want
erotica.
really horny, erotic Zork?
Horny erotica Zork. Yes. Wow, that's a
hey
deep
Blake,
cut.
hey Blake, I have a name for this video game.
Uh-oh. What is
Bork.
it? That's it. That's the joke. Thank you. Give me another game. God of Pork.
God of Pork.
Sorry. It's just so fucking stupid and immature.
This submission comes from Gazer on Twitter, @JustGazer. Cowboy Joe, a dating sim with a twist. You're the coffee shop owner with a Western theme that this one guy keeps bringing a whole lot of ladies to. Can you keep the coffee flowing while he's grinding the harem route?
Wait, can you say that last phrase for me again?
Yeah.
Grinding the
Can you
ham
keep
route?
the coffee flowing while he's grinding the harem route?
Grinding the harem route. Oh, so you're the host of the place where the dating game is happening.
Yeah,
That's
you
an
are.
interesting
So
angle. Yeah.
somebody's moved to a new little island hometown
Uh-huh.
where you live, and they're gonna try to plow down every babe on this island, and you're the guy that runs the coffee joint.
Okay.
And you
So-
have such a huge, like before, like people would come in here every now and again. You were kind of just barely scraping by. But Tony Two-Timer over here is bringing in so many people, and you have to now fulfill so many more coffee orders. But you're
Okay.
not going to
Okay.
hire new people. It's all on you.
Is this I'm trying to figure out what is the gameplay, like what's the bones of this? Is this like beer tapper or root beer tapper? Actually, I think it's just called tapper. What the fuck am I saying?
I think it's a little bit Tapper, and this is another. This is the poll that I'm worried you may not get. It's a little bit Yakuza Cabaret Club manager minigames.
You know what's so funny is this is this and the RC game are the only two mini games that I know from Yakuza because these were the two games you would talk about the most. Okay,
They're
so
the two best parts of Yakuza. So what this is you aren't the one raking in all of these hotties. You are the person in charge of making sure that these dates go well while they are in your establishment, because you need these people coming back to your establishment.
okay.
So you're making the coffee come out. You're doing fun little art pieces with the lattes. You're growing out and growing your own beans, because this dude is bringing in so many people that you don't even have enough coffee to fulfill these orders. You have to grow your own beans in the back. You can't depend on a bean's delivery.
Let me pitch you on this. Because I want to try and figure out, like, this game feels like a game that's going to get frantic in, like, the end levels, where, like, the dude's he has all of his harem in there at once. I'm thinking, is, like, when you do, like, you go somewhere, you say, and you're really tight with the people that go there, you say, let me have the usual. And that's a good name for a game, by the way. The Usual. Usuals.
The
or something
Usuals isn't bad. Continue.
Or something with grind in it. The first time he brings a new date to there, him and his date will give you their orders, and that is the only time they will ever tell you those orders. You have to remember when this person walks in, this is what their order is. They like a frap with an extra shot and like oat whip or something. I don't know. I know very little about coffee.
Non-oat whip. That's the combination of words that you want to use. Non-oat
I
whip.
was trying to say oat whip. Like I was trying to say non-milk whip.
You were trying to say non-dairy.
Yeah,
whip,
yeah.
And then it turned into non-oat whip.
Yeah, and then because I'm on, I speak weird.
Okay.
So this is very easy at the beginning of the game, where it's like he's bringing he's got this one date that he comes with every day, and then the second day he has another day. It's like, okay, this
but
is really
when he
easy.
shows up with a second blonde person, are you kidding me? 10
Oh,
blondes in
there
one
you go,
day?
dude.
How
they
am I
have a
supposed
type.
to remember which one likes what.
Oh, but like one has an earring while the other one has an earring but brown eyes, and it's just, oh fuck, that would be fantastic. So in between all of like the store managing things, you need to remember what their regular order is, or the regulars would be another good. I think grind, because we want this coffee place is going to get turned, right? There's going to be like dudes grinding up on
Is the daily
dates,
grind
right?
an option for the name?
The daily grind. Ooh, that's so good. That's
I worry
such
that
a
the
good
daily
one.
grind loses the Western energy that was in the submission of Cowboy Joe. Which also Cowboy Joe is so good. Here's what the premise is, right? Like you are the like good friend guide character / family cousin of a dating sim main character, right? Because like I don't know if you played a lot of dating sims, but like it's a pretty common trope of like wherever you moved into, you have a cousin nearby that's like, oh, let me show you the ropes. This is where you're gonna go. You play that cousin, and you're like, I run a coffee joint. Just bring some people by. Don't make a big scene. And then this dude keeps on bringing in new people, and you could pull him aside, and you're like, hey, you can't, like, you're dating you have a lot of people coming in through here. Is that a thing? And this guy's like, yeah, cuz I'm just out here trying to slay some tail. And you're like, and you look at him and you're like, what does that mean? And he's like, anyway, I'm gonna be pulling
I'm out here on my
much.
grinds while you're in here grinding, It's like what.
And so it's a little bit of like you wanting to help your cousin, but also needing to do damage control. You need to make sure that your coffee joint is so good and right, but you also need to make sure that he doesn't blow up this whole spot and make it like the traumatizing coffee joint that some dude tried to start a hyper orgy in.
Okay, no, you're onto something here. So if we're playing the cousin of this dude, here's the setup. We are a small town coffee owner named Cowboy Joe, and we just kind of want to keep our coffee joint, which whatever we name it, keep it nice and quaint. Our city slicker, fucking tail chasing cousin who has a bazillion boyfriends in the city comes to this small town thinking they're gonna fuck shit up. They're gonna turn this part. This is like Footloose, but you side with the people that want to keep their small town the same. You know what I mean? Yeah. But you're not on the Footloose guy. I don't even know what his name is. Patrick Swayze.
This tumbling city slicker came over trying to sexually liberate our entire little island.
We're
and
not
we just
having
want to make some good coffee.
We're not having it. No sex and no grinding at the grind. I'm trying to think of what's a good coffee name, because I want to say no grinding at the grind. All right, we'll figure it out.
Dig
I
deep. Come on.
there's groundwork, there's the daily grind. Like, I like the daily grind because it has that double meaning of the sexed up like cousin of yours is on their daily grind to get their grind on, while you have the daily grind of making beans, doing farming, doing damage control, doing repairs on the coffee shop. Guess what? It's like you still need to do your orders to. Oh my God! What if this?
Yeah,
game...
you have your normal regulars as well, but then all of a sudden, like these people that showed up with your cousin, they just really like your coffee because you do make a mean cup of joe, and so they're
that's
gonna
how
start showing up
starts.
without the cousin.
Yeah. So it's like this place starts.
This is, of course, what tips you off that like it might become a problem is because one of the other dates showed up to get coffee while your cousin was there on a date with somebody else, and then like you kind of overheard like a whole exchange between all of them, and then you pulled your cousin aside later, and you're like, "Hey, what happened there? Like, you can't be making a scene like that in my coffee joint."
Oh, so is there like actual dialogue trees in this game?
There will be dialogue trees. You'll watch.
Or is it more just like there are set
scenes?
Yeah, I don't think there's like optional routes. I think it's more of just like you see this relationship come to a fucking boil. And here's one thing I love about small town movies or like coming of age stories is their finale is like always some big event. It's the big dance. It's the big festival. It's the big whatever. Our fucking city slickin' cousin is convincing all of his old dates and all of his old tribe from the city to come spend spring break in our little town, and they're going to be in I'm trying to think of what is Ground Zero. It's your fucking coffee shop, and that's the finale of the game. So you know this spring break event is coming, and you're doing all of the prep you can to get your coffee production as high as possible, to get your service as clean and efficient as possible, because you know
your servers trained and ready for these crazy orders.
Yeah, so that's one thing. Is this also going to be? Are we hiring some people from the town, or is this just we are operating it by ourselves?
I think that there will be a way to earn people to work there, and it is entirely through like a schmoozing system of like there will be dates that the cousin will bring in, and you will be like, well, this seems like a nice little person. They seem to like our coffee joint well enough. And then if you do a good enough job making sure that they're happy every time they come in, they'll eventually be like, hey, are you hiring right now? And then you can hire them.
Okay, and that's where the options come in. That's where like it doesn't affect the story, but it does affect the gameplay, because these are people that your cousin has dated, right? They could be
dated, is dating. Yeah.
Has dated, is dating. And there could be complications in that. Well, guess what? If your cousin comes in and they might get distracted on the job and they're not going to be as efficient as you want them to be. Or you find out that maybe they fucking hate your cousin after dating them, and they're going to
sabotage their orders, and that's going to be a whole thing because now you have a customer that's getting the wrong thing.
Yes, and like, the dates go bad, and then it basically
and then you get a bad review on Yelp, and it's not even your fault. It becomes a whole thing.
Do people even use Yelp anymore? I can't remember the last time I ever used Yelp. I don't think I've ever used Yelp.
Do use Yelp still?
I mean, you look at like Google reviews, like when I'm trying to buy buy food. I mean, okay.
For what it's worth, I also look at Google reviews, but the places that I've worked, like usually part of my job description includes looking at and responding to Yelp reviews.
That's boring. That sucks. Sorry.
That's part of the job.
Yeah, the job's a job. Okay, no, I like this. I like the daily grind. It is a very fun game. I want to put a pin in it because I want to discuss maybe one or two more games before we decide on our nug.
All right, put your money where your mouth is. Give me another video game idea.
This one comes to us on Reddit from Max Get My Coat. New game coming this summer from the makers of Cooking Mama. Comes Lifting Mama. You and Mama need to get jacked. Submission featuring Rita Astronaut. All right. AJ, is there a way... I like that they had to specify that you and Mama need to get jacked, so you're the kid trying to help your mom, who's like maybe a little bit older, and you're helping them get the muscly bod of their dreams. They want to get fucking shredded. So is this
I'm about to
what
make my cooking mama put so much whey protein in this lasagna.
Can you do that? Can you put whey protein? I don't know what. I feel like whey protein is one of those things you could mix into anything, but it's like you shouldn't. But you could.
Yeah, I don't really know what pre-workout is. I've just heard people tell me that when they take pre-workout, it gives them like a little bit of a buzz and some tingles. And I've had people offer to me before of taking some pre-workout before we go to a concert. I turned it down, but I do kind of regret it.
That sounds like a drug. Pre-workout sounds kind of like getting high a little bit. Get the
It does,
tingles.
right? It does. It sounds
Yeah.
wild.
Okay, so Mama's really into pre-workout powder. She has a problem actually.
She's
Okay,
trying to get fucking huge.
she's trying to get fucking swole. Okay, so what are we trying? I've never played a Cooking Mama game before. What is the gameplay loop of that, and what does it build to? Like, what is the conclusion of a Cooking Mama game? Like, you've discovered all of the recipes?
I've only really vaguely understood Cooking Mama from the outside. I've also never played it. I was too busy playing Astro Boy on the Game Boy Advanced.
Nice.
But my understanding is that it's just like quick time events, but with pretty food and peaceful music. It's like, I have to assume it feels like playing the Naruto Ninja Storm games, except like super chill.
Oh, okay. Well, that means we need
Like,
to do the opposite.
the screen kind of like throws up the idea of like, you want to press X 20 times with the right timing. And like,
God.
I would do that same thing if I was playing Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm and I was beating up Kakashi. But now I'm doing it with a fun little stick of celery on the screen instead.
Okay, hold on. We're onto something here. So what if we did a game?
What if we contacted the people that created Asura's Wrath and the Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm game and had them make a Cooking Mama video game?
I mean, but we got to make it. We're spiritual successors. Got to make it in house, buddy.
We're just publishing this one.
We're publishing this one. Okay, I have something. I want to take a different route with it because it does specify that you're helping your mom. So what if we did a timed event sort of game where each level was learning a new exercise or learning some sort of like health meal, so you still have that Cooking Mama like element to it, but it's a timed event game that you need to do with a partner. So it starts off really simple at the beginning of the game. It's like you both need to make sure you're pressing A at the same time. But as the game gets more and more crazy, you are now not pressing things at the same time. You are operating off of different rhythms, and you're pressing different buttons than your partner. And so it's like it's like Dance Dance Revolution, but with like buttons, and you are trying to like one is the trainer while one is the person actually training. So the mama is the one
to teach your mom how to play video games.
It feels like Mama's first video game. It could be like a little rhythm. I'm trying to think of like a rhythm game. A rhythm game that teaches you like form and actual exercising that you could do with your mama. Do you feel there's legs on this one? Or do you feel there's some nice yoked legs on this one? Or do you feel like you want to give me another
There are legs here, but I'm worried that the legs aren't stinky enough. So I want to move on to a different game idea.
All right. Give me a stinky game. Give me a real rancid one.
This submission comes from Caleb Martin, Taylor's version, at Asithius on Twitter. A roguelike that plays in reverse. The first loop, you have everything unlocked. Every run, you lose something at random. How far can you get?
Oh, okay, that's cool as fuck, because if it's randomized, the thing you were leaning on during the last run, you might not be able to. It's constantly asking you to reinvent the formula with your new pieces, with the pieces that you have.
Exactly.
I like this. And what's kind of cool about this, and here's the stank, AJ. There you have 30 or so items at the beginning of the game. It's like 5 pieces of armor, 5 different weapons, etc., trinkets, whatever. You literally only have 30 attempts at this game before modifiers. So, like, maybe you're doing a run of this game, and it turns out you make the fucking wrong decision or the wrong pact with the wrong demon, and guess what? This time around, you lose 2 items. So it's kind of like, actually, this gives me Sifu vibes in a way. There are a set amount of like tries you get in Sifu to do the game,
But you can always restart the game and run through it again as like a younger age. Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. So it kind of has that same limited runs vibe. And like, let's figure out like what's our backdrop to this. Like, Enter the Gungeon has every floor is like a different themed like dungeon with like one's like necromancy themed, one's ice themed, one's all fire themed. What's kind of the backdrop to a game like this? Because something that stands out to me, or something I want to play with, is that the further you go into this dungeony thing, the more nondescript it gets. Like, you're descending into an abyss. So it's like it kind of pairs with the more you go down into this hellscape, the less shit there is, matching like the further you get through this game, the less
so
items
you're proposing
you
the
tend to
idea
have.
that like the first couple levels you have these like hyper detailed demon designs, right? It's got
Yes.
6 arms, it's got big teeth and a whole head. And by the time you're in the final layers of this dungeon, you are fighting specters, just little like blue orbs of slight fire animation.
Let me pitch you on this because this actually, I think this would be bitchin'. So first a layer of this kind of roguelike photorealistic massive detail, everything has like physics to it, all this stuff. But then the next layer you go into, it jumps down in game resolution. So it goes to like an extreme of it is we go from hyperreal to like 8-bit, and that has an effect that is more than just visual. All of your weapons operate differently because they are now confined to the processing of that like game era.
I don't know if I like the idea of like changing the way that the controls and the gameplay works, but I do like the idea of like down-resing things. I guess my vision is something less like hyperrealism to 8-bit and something more akin to. Do you remember like late 3DS side scrollers, like how like detailed and interesting sprites could really look on that machine in 2D?
Are you talking about like Mario, like Super Mario World, where like
Super Mario World, or even we could take something like Hollow Knight, for example. Like Hollow Knight is a very crisp and curvaceous thing to look at. But like there's a world where Hollow Knight curvaceous isn't the right word for that.
Yeah, no, it is not.
Well,
that's a little dude. That's a little son right there.
Hey, the Hollow Knight is right. The Hollow Knight is a child. But that one mosquito working the little shop upstairs? Cornifer's. Cornifer's
yes, you
wife.
Can get
though?
it. You're right. You're right. Okay, so as you're saying,
I'm about to get all Kratos on Cornifer. That's right. Bang his wife and kill him.
Jesus, I hate that callback.
Cornifer was the name of the little map maker in Hollow Knight, right?
Oh, fuck, I don't know, dude. I just okay. So what are you getting at there? Is like that's kind of the game,
just
how
the
game
idea of like
starts.
being a very detailed side scroller that like slowly falls apart into looking like Mega Man. But I do like the idea of the resolution dropping. I just don't like the idea of like mechanically and like the way the game feels changing over the course like that.
I want to argue against that and let me give you my pitch on it. Is let's just take a simple like fireball effect. They used in the 3, and when you first start the game, it's this beautiful like photorealistic. You see this fireball, and the fireball is able to like bounce around the room or bounce off of walls, and it does it at a specific speed that's meant for like real physics. But then a couple levels later, where you're in like 8-bit zone, that thing basically moves as if it's a pong ball, where it's like it's bouncing from one wall to another, and it's like much slower. So it's like you have to learn each of these weapons that you carry with you operate slightly differently depending on what resolution or what era they're in. Oh, there we go. That's what we call this fucking game. We call it era. And it starts off like it starts off like in the new era, and then as the game goes on, the resolution gets smaller and smaller. But here's the real stink of it, AJ. Here's where but this is where I think we can make this game
Okay.
fucking unbearable in the later levels. The resolution keeps devolving to where you can't even tell the difference between items in your inventory. So say you want to use a specific weapon that you really like. Is it this pixel that has like a slight little like 1 pixel on top of it and like a 1 pixel, it looks kind of like a gun, or is it this completely other sprite? So you have to do this.
Am I looking at pixelated boomerang or am I looking at pixelated gun?
Yes, exactly. So, and then it just like the mechanics are changing on you. Your visuals that you go to rely on are changing on you. And to make matters even fucking worse, with every run, one or more of your items, depending on your actions, disappears on you. So one question I want to answer though. What motivates a player to keep trying on an account or on a save file that is
if
missing
I don't have
items?
gun, why am I going to continue trying to play this run with no gun?
So there still has to be some sort of advancement, like maybe your health goes
Yeah,
up,
there's a progression
your speed goes
system.
up.
You can upgrade.
Yeah.
You can upgrade the items that you have if you are able to clear the boss. You are able to select one of the items that you have left and upgrade it.
Yes, and that stays between. Well, actually, no, it doesn't. If that's the item you end up losing, you fucking it makes it hurt all the more because
this is what makes it so
interesting
this is what made Sifu such a interesting game to honestly go back and replay it as a roguelite every time. Whenever you had a move that you wanted to upgrade, let's use the crotch punch as an example. If I wanted to keep crotch punch, I had to select the crotch punch upgrade 5 times in one run before I got to keep it without ever thinking about it again.
Oh,
if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, it's like you have to upgrade it until it's a permanent upgrade.
Yes.
Oh, I like this.
We could do that with our weapons. So
okay.
you have to finish a clear completely before you are able to get a permanent upgrade for your weapon. But you can give yourself little upgrades on your run of 30.
Yes. I also think, it'd be really cool too, because say people are going to have weapons that they really like using. As you kill whatever mobs are in this de-resing dungeon, you collect little currency, and then at the shop you can buy these little cruxes that you can put on certain items that increase their it decreases the chances of them being removed on your next playthrough. So it's say you have this sword that you have all these fucking stats on and has just the speed that you want. It's easy to use. It's the playstyle that you like. You go up to our little dealership dude and you buy a crux that decreases the chance of it being despawned from your inventory on a failed run by 50%. But there's still a chance of it. So it's you can still. Yeah, so you can still kind of lean into a playstyle that you want, but there's still that chance of losing something you've invested a lot of time and energy into, and it's just fucking aggravating. But that's the joy of it, is now if I know a person like you played this game, I feel like losing the item that you liked would suck for you, but I know you would actually look at that as a positive.
The fact that I know that I've still got 7 more runs that I could go through this game and see if I can't pick up some other little long-term upgrade. I'd probably still run it. It'd be frustrating, and I'd have to accept the fact that I'm probably not going to finish the boss on this run of 30, but I might be able to get something out of it.
Or what?
Again, this was what was so satisfying about Sifu, was that level of push and pull when you finished a boss and you sat there and you're like, okay, well, I finished that boss and lost 30 years. I'm going to sit down and think about whether or not I'm restarting the game from the beginning, or if I just want to go ahead and go see what's in this next zone.
Yes. But I think the other reason why I think it would appease to players like you is because the moment you the weapon that you have leaned on gets taken away from you, that opens up this level of discovery of like, oh, I'm now using a weapon that I didn't even think about using, and it turns out I really like it, or I really fucking hate it. So there's this level of like, by the end of this game, you will have tried every weapon at least once and figured out how it works and what power-ups kind of stack well on it. I want to take that same kind of Hades level of boons, where it's like, oh, I know these boons work well with with these kinds of boons, or these little power-ups work well with this weapon specifically. And I want to take that same energy, but all of the animations, all of the sprites, they all just progressively become harder and harder to identify, and making just like the game visually a fucking hell to experience at the later levels. And when you beat it, it's like, oh my god, you know, it'd be such a cool reveal too, is like, here's the backdrop for the game. Here's the backdrop.
The different phases of the final boss as you fight them.
Yes, exactly. And when like you get on their final health bar, you get to see everything in its full like hyper detailed glory. And it's like, I want to take like Tomb of Annihilation vibes on this, where there is this lich that is slowly forcing our world to despawn or derez into absolute nothingness. And when you get down there, just picture like this badass like 8-bit lich that you have to like fight through all of its different phases of resolution. Oh, and then like your playstyle would change.
Super cool, actually.
Isn't that fucking awesome? Actually, isn't that super fucking cool? And I think this game has just enough stank to where we could be like, hey, this is a game that sounds fun, but you know is gonna fucking aggravate people.
It's gonna be so tough to get there. Blake Rea.
So tough. Yes.
We should pick a nug.
Okay, so we got this one. We also have our we have our the one. Oh man, I don't know why, but I feel like I'm so in it now. I tend to forget like the games that we discuss.
We have this game right now that we were discussing about the roguelike where you lose things every time you do a run.
Yes, we have our God of War text adventure.
God of War text adventure game. We have our coffee run, our coffee delivery game where we were trying to run a coffee joint while somebody's trying to run a dating sim on your island.
Okay, so which one
and
of
then we had
these
a cooking mama game.
Yeah, I don't feel like we got too many legs with the cooking mama thing. Like, I don't think it has that stank that you and I like. Which game? I feel it's between this or the daily grind game.
I kind of want to commit to the daily grind game.
Okay, all right. So daily grind, and the game just gets progressively more chaotic.
We've been through this before. Like, I know dating sims are a very easy thing to make fun of on this show, but very rarely have we tried to do the opposite of a dating sim, where you were trying to do damage control for somebody else's dating sim.
Yes, for somebody else's dating adventure. All right, so since that's our nug, let's discuss a game, like a title, and what is like this game's ending. Like, because clearly, like, the problem here, or the narrative here, is that these are two cousins with two very different ways of operating their life. Do we just kind of want... part of me is just kind of wanting to lean into this game just being propaganda, where it's like, you can't be fucking a bunch of people.
I think this game is anti-dating propaganda. I think this game is like... I think this game is weirdly conservative about things.
Yes,
I think it's weirdly repressed. I think that we go ahead and commit to the idea that the cousin that moved into the town is a bad influence.
Okay, real Blake, not on Blake, thinking about this. Is it wrong to do a conservative style game about your cousin and how you don't want them to be dating all their boyfriends? Is there a way we can fix that where it doesn't seem as problematic?
I see what you mean. Yeah, by creating a hyper but if our singular character's like Opus or Otis goal, if our character's single goal is to keep the character from being sexually and romantically involved with things, there's a world where we create a character where our main character's goal is to keep, just in general, a hateful energy in the world.
Yeah, so I love the idea. I love the idea of like, hey, I think it would be funny to do a character that is like hounding their sex crazed like cousin. I think that's a funny thing, but I think there needs to be like some sort of like we also need to see it from the other light of God, this is tough. This is tough now.
I mean, I guess one solution would be that we make it less inclusive and just assume that the cousin that's in town is straight and is just dating just some guy dating girls.
Yeah, but that sounds like
because then our writing won't end up being accidentally hateful.
Yeah.
By being non-inclusive, we're not hateful anymore, Blake. It's the perfect crime.
Okay, let me pitch you on an easy solution.
Before we step into anything, we can just ignore it.
No, you and I were fucking better than that. We're better than that.
I'm certainly not like a perspective of authority in this field. We can just ignore it.
You're right.
It's totally fine, and our writing's going to be great, and it's not going to be accidentally hateful in any way, shape, or form, because it's a fake video game, and we don't need to fucking look at this and then step in anything.
You're right. All right. Well, the daily
Trust
grind.
Me,
there
our writers room is so good.
Fucking, this is.
we created a video game that's like super sexuality positive and also super sex negative.
Actually,
I'm so proud of us.
Okay, I have one fix. Our cousin, who's like super like into sex and stuff, genuinely a decent guy. It's just they're kind of oblivious to the craziness that they are bringing to this coffee shop. And the end of the story is them discovering, oh, hey, you dating isn't the problem. It's just be more mindful of just not bringing the rowdiness to my calm coffee shop. There you go. There's our story. We dodged another bullet. Woo!
Woo! Good job.
Good
Another
save.
bullet dodged by spiritual successor. Like, what are we gonna call this game?
I think Daily Grind is good. Or Cowboy Joe the Daily Grind. Or Cowboy Jane the Daily Grind. Cowboy. Honestly, I think you nailed it with like
Daily Grind.
Yeah, Daily Grind, because it has that duo. That duo meaning.
It really does. It does have the dual meaning, and you know what? I'm happy with calling it that. Let's call it. Let's finish the episode.
All right, let's go to patch notes. Hey everybody, welcome to Patch Notes. We just wanted to say we are going to be taking a week off next week. Our buddy, our joy, the gem of this show, AJ Hart, is going to be handling some personal things.
I broke my knee, and so I need to go to get surgery.
Okay, I didn't want to like say exactly what it is because I didn't want to like. You've told me I have a bad habit of just sharing things on this show that I shouldn't.
Yeah, I appreciate you watching for that. And you know what? I do appreciate you watching out to share my things. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. No, I'm fine with people knowing it. I'm getting surgery for leg. So we won't be recording next week because I'm probably going to be zonked out on painkillers.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Oh, man.
I've never had surgery before, and I've also never broken a bone before. So this is going to be an interesting experience for me.
Oh, God. Well, everybody wish AJ a speedy recovery. Check us out on YouTube. We got a bunch of Let's Plays there if you need some more content of us boys being dudes. Until then.
The intro and outro of our show is Cheap Shot by Anna Monoguchi, an excellent song from an excellent band for an excellent game. I have been one of your hosts, AJ Hart.
And I have been your other host, Blake Rea.
This has been Spiritual Successor, and these are cool games
that should not be problematic.